There's a lot of drama surrounding the Brooklyn Nets this season, so today I'm going to be trading everyone. Starting off with Kevin Durant. No offers in the trade finder, so I made my own trade with the Philadelphia 76ers for Tyrese Maxey and Tobias Harris. Then I traded Kyrie Irving to the Houston Rockets for Eric Gordon and a first-round pick. I was really excited about this next move. I was able to add Bol for Nicholas Claxton and Seth Curry. Then we had to trade Ben Simmons. I put Ben Simmons in the trade finder, and I went ahead and made a move for Russell Westbrook in this trade. I thought Westbrook could be a great addition to this roster. Then I went ahead and added Obi Toppin in a trade with the New York Knicks. Then it was just some smaller moves, trading guys for first round picks, just trying to overall improve the amount of picks that we had to work with in this rebuild, because picks are very important, especially in 2K. Then I filled out the roster with some signings, added guys like DeMarcus Cousins, Earl Jenkins, Lance Stevenson to fill out the roster, and the team was looking really good. I mean, this team could win at least 12 games on the season, so I'm pretty excited for it. And if you do go on to enjoy this video, I know you get annoyed with every YouTuber saying this, but I'd really appreciate if you consider subscribing. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers, and less than 2% of you all are actually subscribed, so I'd really appreciate if you consider it. Anyways, at the trade deadline, I somehow finessed the Kings and traded Tobias Harris and a first for De'Aaron Fox. That was a big move for us. Then I also made another move at the trade deadline, adding Jae'Sean Tate, made some other small moves so we could pick up some more draft picks. I'm kind of like Danny Ainge out here. I'm Danny 2K, he's Danny Ainge. I'm getting all these picks, man. I'm sorry, that was an awful joke. We had no all-stars. Also, at the end of the season, we had nobody winning awards, but Ben Simmons got 6th Man of the Year on the Lakers. Absolutely crazy, man. I wonder how that trio worked out. Ben Simmons, LeBron, and AD, kind of a crazy trio. On the season, we ended up winning a whopping 30 games, so that makes us a very competitive team in the draft lottery. This is our NBA Finals. We need this pick. And somehow we move up to number 2, and the Knicks got number 1, so I knew what we had to make happen. And we gave the Rockets Kyrie, so of course their pick wasn't good. I was mad about that, but we had to make a move with the Knicks. They had the number 1 pick. I knew I could finesse them. I sent them a trade package centered around De'Aaron Fox. I needed Wembanyama, and I went ahead and made that happen, including some picks, some other players, whatever it took to get it done. And now we're going to be drafting Victor Wembanyama and also Scoot Henderson. And for some reason, both of their names are spelled wrong in this, but don't worry, I changed that. If you had to watch a whole video with their names spelled wrong, I know you'd probably be getting pretty annoyed. So I changed their names, and now we've got a great young core centered around those guys. I wanted to add to that by trying to sign RJ Barrett. We offered him a big deal, and I also offered Christian Wood a contract with our cap space. Ultimately, we didn't end up getting RJ, but we got Christian Wood, and now our rotation's looking a lot better than last year, I would say, but we still definitely need some work. We're going to need to take some more steps if we want to be a contender. Around the trade deadline, we are well above 500, so I thought it was time to make a move to try and improve this roster even further. Also, we didn't have any All-Stars yet again, and somehow I finessed the Blazers to add Damian Lillard. This was a great trade. So we traded our recent free agent signing to add Dame. I mean, what a great trade for us. We finished off the season with a lot of wins. Wembanyama was the Rookie of the Year. I mean, even if we don't get the ring this year, we've got a bright future ahead of us with Scoot and Victor. But getting into the playoffs, we were the number 1 seed. Adding Dame was huge for us as he averaged over 26 points per game, leading the team in scoring. We had almost 3 guys averaging 20 or more. In the first round, we got the Chicago Bulls up and out of there in a gentleman's sweep. We had a close series in the second round against the Boston Celtics. It was tied at 2 apiece. They took the 5th game, and we had some tough performances, specifically Dame time. What's going on? The watch is broken. But we went ahead and took game 6, so we're going in a winner-take-all Game 7. We need this one, but ultimately we end up losing to the Boston Celtics. A disappointing finish for a team that won almost 60 games on the year, but we end up losing to the eventual champion Celtics, and now it's time to make some changes in the offseason. Well, actually, I didn't make any changes. I kind of just brought back our guys and tried to run it back, But around the trade deadline in this next season was when I went ahead and tried to make some moves to improve this roster. I tried to make a trade to add Kawhi Leonard. I was giving up a lot. I traded Scoot Henderson and a bunch of picks along with other players, but our rotation looks ridiculous and Kawhi should give us a legitimate chance to contend, but we did trade young talent to add Kawhi, so that's something to keep in mind. We also saw Victor make the All-Star team this year. This was really his year, man. He ended up getting Defensive Player of the Year and winning Most Improved Player, and we saw him selected to All-NBA Second Team and All-Defensive First Team. A big year for Wembanyama as he exploded onto the scene in his second year, and Kawhi was All-Defensive Second Team. We're in a first-round matchup against the Atlanta Hawks. I feel like we're way better than our seeding, but we're down 3-1 to Atlanta, and they get us up and out of there in a gentleman's sweep. This is when it kind of backfired to add Kawhi and Dame, two aging stars, so I tried to make our team at least a little younger by adding Malik Monk. I also tried to get some additional future draft capital to help us out if we're going to make any more moves. I brought back Jalen Johnson in free agency, but as you can see, both Dame and Kawhi did end up regressing, so we need to win and we need to do it soon. I picked up some G League players out of free agency to improve our depth, so that kind of shows our depth is a bit lackluster, and that was showing at the start of the year. We were below 500 or teetering around it. Victor Wembanyama was selected to be an all-star starter. We didn't have any other all-stars, and we still finished out the season strong despite our slow start, so we were able to work things out, and we should have a chance to try and get a ring. Victor Wembanyama was once again All-NBA Second Team. That just seems to be what he does now. He was All-Defensive First Team as well, and he led the way in scoring, but we saw a significant drop in scoring from Damian Lillard this year. We're in the playoffs against the 5-seeded Hornets, and we somehow lose in 6, so I decided, you know what, we're trading pretty much everybody. I traded Tyrese Maxey for some young guys. I'm just trying to clear as much cap space as possible. We're going to go all out and rebuild this team through free agency because obviously what I've done so far isn't working. I was just trying to clear cap, add picks, and that way if I had picks and cap space, hopefully I could build a contending team. This team just wasn't working and I needed to try something new, so this was the approach I was going to take. We were about 5 years into the rebuild at this point, and I tried to sign Steph Curry in free agency. He's pretty old, but he can still shoot those threes, man, so it'll be alright. And we go ahead and get him on a 1-year deal, so that's a 95 overall. I know y'all saw I tried to add KD, just ignore that. And I went ahead and added DeAndre Ayton as I had enough cap space to sign him on a little bit less than he wanted, but he still ended up taking that, and now we had 2 big additions, a ton of draft picks. We also got Josh Hart for some depth, and a bunch of young guys on the team, along with Victor Wembanyama still around. Then I went ahead and made a move for Darius Garland. They didn't want too much, and I felt like this was an absolute steal for us. We had a 90 overall guard alongside Steph and Wembanyama. Then I trade some of our young guys in a pick to add Shaedon Sharpe, and our team's really shaping up well. Despite that, we're still teetering around 500, so I knew it was time to make another move. We're going all in this year, and I add some great depth pieces with Bones Highland and Ivica Zubac. Then, when we get to the all-star teams, we had Steph Curry selected, and we also had Victor Wembanyama in there. And I wasn't done making moves yet, as I traded DeAndre Ayton, 2 firsts, and KCP for Brandon Ingram and Andrew Wiggins. Now our rotation is absolutely stacked, and there is no reason we shouldn't win the ring. As Rashard Lewis wins Coach of the Year, kind of cool there. We also had Victor Wembanyama make All-NBA Second, and also he ended up making All-Defensive First, as he usually does. Now getting to the playoffs, we weren't too high of a seed, but we're way better than our seed indicates. I mean, we go ahead and we sweep the Toronto Raptors in the first round, then we get the Cavs up and out of there in 6. Now we've got the Pistons in the conference finals. In the first game, we go ahead and we blow them out. Brandon Ingram was huge for us with 34 points. We're going to need a little more from Steph though. But continuing on in the series, we're up 2-0, but the Pistons take 2 games in a row row to tie it up at 2 apiece. Now, in Game 5, we've got a very close one with Shaedon Sharpe at the line. He sinks the first and does the same for the second. So we're up 3 points. They could really use a 3 to tie this game. Cade pulls a tough mid-range, misses it. Wembanyama gets the board, and Shaedon Sharpe is once again at the line. He hits both, and that ices the game. We get the Pistons down 3-2 in this series, and Curry struggled yet again, but it didn't matter as we went ahead and won the next game, and now we're out of there. We're advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time in this video. Luka Doncic wins Western Conference MVP, and then Victor Wembanyama wins Eastern Conference MVP to set up a Mavs-Nets Finals. The Mavericks come out firing in Game 1 and end up beating us by 15 points. This was a tough game for Brandon Ingram and Darius Garland. We need a little more scoring from Darius, but regardless, we bounce back in Game 2 and tie it up at a game apiece in the series, and Luka Doncic struggled in this one. That was big for us in getting this win. In Game 3, we go ahead and win again. That puts us up 2-1 in the series. This was a big win by almost 20 points. In Game 4, we have a chance to take a 3-1 lead. Steph drives to the rim and scores over Luka Doncic. Now, Luka passes it to Desmond Bane. He has a good look for 3, but he misses it, and we go to overtime. But despite Steph's clutch layup, we still end up losing this one, and that puts the series at 2 apiece. We can't afford to lose another game because then we'll be on the brink of elimination. It looked like we were gonna lose, but we go on a ridiculous 50-21 run to close out the game, winning by 2 points in Game 5 of the series, and that puts us up 3-2. Shaedon Sharpe came to play in this one with 34 points. Then in Game 6, we go ahead and we close them out. We win the championship. Victor Wembanyama is the Finals MVP. This was our championship roster. Steph Curry ended up retiring after this ring to go out on a championship. That's it for the video. Have a great day. Be sure to like and subscribe.